Here we go again. Another Western studio, another controversy, another perfect example of why the Western AAA games industry is imploding. Ghost of Yotei, Sucker Punch's follow-up to one of the most beloved samurai games ever made, and they've managed to turn it into a complete disaster before it even hits shelves. You all know what happened. We all saw the Drew Harrison tweets celebrating Charlie Kirk's assassination. We all watched Sucker Punch scramble to do damage control. We all witnessed the community backlash that's still raging today. But this isn't about one game or one fired developer. This is about the systematic destruction of Western gaming by activists masquerading as game developers. Let's be honest here. Ghost of Yotei was already in trouble before Harrison's infamous tweet. The protagonist swap from Jin to Atsu wasn't creative evolution, it was ideological mandation. They had lightning in a bottle with Jin Sakai's story, and they threw it away because having a male Japanese protagonist apparently didn't check enough diversity boxes. Everyone saw right through it. But instead of listening, Sucker Punch doubled down. That's the Western gaming playbook right now. Ignore your audience, lecture them about representation, then act shocked when they reject your product. Or worse, blame them for the failure. And then Harrison happens, celebrating political violence against a conservative figure while working for a major gaming studio. That's not an accident. That's company culture. You don't hire someone, you don't keep someone, you don't create an environment where someone feels comfortable posting that unless it's normalized internally. Now we're supposed to believe Sucker Punch's change of moral compass when they fired her? Sure thing, bro. They only acted because they got called out, and it came very late, if I may add. The hashtags, the boycotts, the recent ratio trailers, that's what got their attention, not some sudden moral awakening. Ryan Fleming's confirmation that the reports were accurate, that wasn't transparency, that was crisis management. Sony's trying to save a game that's already poisoned in the well. Pre-orders are getting cancelled, the community split between people disgusted by the politics and people defending Harrison. And meanwhile, non-Western studios are just making great games without the drama. Look at the numbers. Concord lasted 8 days, Dustborn was DOA. These aren't isolated failures, they're market corrections. The audience is rejecting activist gaming, and these studios still don't get it. This is bigger than Ghost of Yotei. This is about Western developers who've forgotten they're entertainers, not educators. They're so obsessed with pushing their politics that they've lost sight of what made gaming special in the first place. Escapism, fun, letting players be heroes in incredible worlds. Instead, we get lectures. We get characters designed by committee and HR instead of creative vision. We get developers celebrating political violence while simultaneously demanding we buy their products about honor and justice. The cognitive dissonance is staggering. And the worst part is, they act like we're the problem. Wanting games focused on gameplay instead of gender studies makes us toxic. Expecting developers to show basic human decency makes us fascists. They've created this insane reality where criticizing poor decisions is somehow worse than celebrating assassination. Look, let's be realistic here. Ghost of Yotei will still sell copies. There are millions of casual gamers who loved Ghost of Tsushima, saw the pretty trailer, and will buy the sequel without ever knowing about Drew Harrison's tweets or the controversy. They don't follow X, they don't read forums, they just see new Ghost of Tsushima game and hit purchase. But here's what Sucker Punch doesn't understand. They could have had so much more. This could have been a massive blockbuster that dominated sales charts for months. Instead, they've capped their own potential. The passionate core audience that drives word of mouth, gone. The streamers and content creators who build hype, many are staying away. The gaming communities that create lasting buzz, they're actively discouraging purchases. Sucker Punch will probably look at decent sales numbers and they think they dodged a bullet. But they'll never know how much bigger this could have been. They traded maximum success for ideological satisfaction. Developers that put passion and gamers first don't deal with this. They make games about what's cool, what's fun, what resonates with human nature. They're not worried about representation quotas or political messaging. They just make great experiences and let the quality speak for itself. That's why we have seen a remarkable rise of AA developers such as Sandfall Interactive with Expedition 33. We're tired of being lectured by people who hate us while they demand our money. The brain drain is real too. Talented developers are fleeing these activist studios. They're going indie, they're moving to studios that prioritize games over politics, or they're just leaving the industry entirely. Western gaming is losing its best people to ideological purity tests. Ghost of Yotei could have been incredible. The foundation was there. A beloved world, proven gameplay mechanics, a fanbase hungry for more. Instead, Sucker Punch chose politics over players, activism over entertainment, virtue signaling over quality. This is the choice Western studios face now. Serve your audience or serve your ideology. You can't do both. The market has made that crystal clear. Every failed launch, every boycott, every time the community rejects your politics is a lesson you refuse to learn. Gaming is art, but it's commercial art. It exists because people buy it, play it, love it. When you prioritize everything except making your audience happy, you fail. It's really that simple. Charlie Kirk's assassination was a tragedy that should have united people in condemning political violence. Instead, we got a Sucker Punch developer celebrating it. That tells you everything you need to know about where these studios' priorities lie. Ghost of Yotei will probably still sell copies. There are always people willing to separate art from artist, politics from product. But the damage is done. The trust is broken, and activist Western gaming continues its descent towards irrelevance. The solution is simple. Make great games for the people who buy them. Everything else is just noise. What do you think? Are you still buying Ghost of Yotei after all this? Let me know in the comments. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed the content, and I'll see you next time.